If you like our channel, please help us out and click this little guy here to get notified when we upload a new video. Thank you. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories is an open-world action-adventure game developed for the Sony PSP in October 2005. It's the 9th GTA game in the series, and it's a prequel to Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto Advance. It was developed by Rockstar Leeds in conjunction with Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. In Japan, it was published and distributed by Capcom. Previous GTA titles used a company called Renderware for the game engine, but for this game, it dropped them in favor of a brand new in-house engine to best utilize the resolution, texture, density, and particle effects of the PSP. The facial animation was handled by Image Matrix, and it's very stiff, I must say, but it's probably just a PSP limitation. The game was later ported to the PlayStation 2 in June of 2006. Released for the iOS in December 2015, the Android in February 2016, and the Fire OS in March of 2016. Also, it is available on the PlayStation 3 through the PlayStation Network, but it's the exact same game as the PS2, it's just digital instead of physical. There are no enhancements made to it, so I will not be covering it. As the title of the game suggests, this does take place in Liberty City, the same as Grand Theft Auto 3. So if you were already familiar with GTA 3, then you should easily navigate through the PSP city as it's almost exactly the same. Now don't bother going for a swim because if you do, you will die. There's no swimming in this game. And there also isn't any climbing, so that means no climbing up on ledges or going up any ladders. What we do get though are sweet motorcycles that weren't present in GTA 3. As stated, the PSP was the first version of the game and plays extremely well. The only drawback was the single joystick that the handheld had. The PlayStation Portable was the only one to offer multiplayer mode, and it was awesome. There are 7 modes in total in which various pedestrians and character models from the single-player game are available as playable characters. When it was ported over to the PS2, they kept it all intact, but it was optimized for faster load times, increased draw distances, more densely populated city, and of course the use of a second joystick. Years later, when it was ported to mobile, they added touchscreen controls, real-time lighting, high-definition textures, and increased draw distance. Something I noticed about the mobile version is, after a cutscene, the game will essentially pause, and won't continue until you press next. Not a bad thing, just something I noticed. Also, this happens often. If you look, they removed the animation of you getting out of the car and instead replaced with a short black loading screen. Not a deal breaker. Okay, now we made our way into the apartment. The first thing I notice is, on the mobile, you see that you have a shadow, and obviously better textures, although I do prefer the carpet look on the PSP and PS2. Next we have the save disc. The PSP and mobile say backup, whereas the PS2 got rid of it. The mobile also added more polygons to round it out. Going back a tad, the PlayStation Portable disc doesn't even pop in right away like the other two do. The mobile version said they had increased draw distance, but here I see the PS2 rendering in some far off buildings first, and the mobile is actually even closer. The PlayStation 2 hasn't even reached this light pole yet, it's further down the road. However, there's some way better anti-aliasing over here, which is nice. The picture on the wall seems to be a completely different one, probably didn't have a high res of their original source. And again, the carpet effect on the mobile seems to look more like a pre-texture than the actual carpet look of the PS2 and PSP. I don't know why, but I really love driving cabs in GTA games. And I really love the way this cab looks in the mobile version. Almost looks like it's cel shaded. Looking at the trees, I prefer the PlayStation 2. Sure, they're a little bit more blurry, but I like how you can see through the branches and leaves instead of a solid block. The PSP clouds look more like a mushroom cloud in this particular shot. In these scenes here, you see the difference in traffic. The PlayStation Portable has a lot less of it due to its hardware. Take a look here, they changed the font of the giant donut. I'm sure there's a lot of instances like this in the mobile game. The PSP has the worst aliasing, but still looks great. And the PS2 copy is my preferred version, but the mobile one does look very, very good. The resolution of the PSP game is 480 by 272. The PS2 Liberty City Stories doesn't run at 480p, just 480i, but allows for widescreen to be enabled, so I assume it's running like at 704 by 480 or 720 by 480. I'm not really sure which one. The mobile one varies per device. The highest is 1080p and the lowest is 720p. Graphically, the mobile does look superior, but I'd still rather play the PSP or PS2 copies. But if you insist on better visuals, you can always play them on your computer using emulators. Now, Liberty City Stories is also on PC. Sort of. It's a mod for San Andreas and it was never finished. It's really glitchy and hardly anything is done. So I'd say skip it or download it just to see for yourself. Well, that's all I have for you today. Please share this video with your friends. Until next time, take it easy.